Sun Goddess 777. I'm gonna come back later on and do a formal live or video where I'm on my screen and I got the tabs open up and I'm showing all this other content. But right now, even if I had my camera on, you wouldn't be able to see me because I'm in the dark. I got my candle lit. Um, and that's because I like it like that. I like the natural light from the candles, and I like the dark. I do. It's very meditative. Sometimes I sit and I sit with myself and I sit in the dark with my candle lit, and sometimes I sit in there without the candles. I just sit in pure darkness by choice. And I let the moonlight. Cause I got a big door to my bed, sliding door that goes to the balcony where I can step out and get some fresh air adjacent right to my bedroom. So, this is good. No excuse me for munching. While I'm sitting here eating some exotic candy. It's like an imported candy, fruit and nut. Not that kind of nut, but actual nut. This is not made for kids. Grown folk dark comedy. Welcome to Sunday evening service. I'm not talking about nothing in particular. It's a lot going on. But like I said, this is Monster and Goddess. I will be back later, and I'll be up here with the laptop and the camera and all that good stuff. But even if I had my camera on there, you cannot see me because I'm sitting in direct moonlight. And I like it. I'm doing it by choice. I'm just letting the natural moonlight. I got a candle going, and I sit with myself like this. I don't have to have nobody around me, which is people. There's people around me. I'm not alone. I'm not lonely, but I'm getting away to myself. I'm in my room in the darkness, and I like it. It's comfortable. I'm letting the moonlight shine in. I got like my scented candle lit. It's a beautiful thing. And I'm sitting with myself. I do this a lot. Greetings. Hi. What is this? Something that you need to be tuned into and listening at what I'm saying, listening at the sound of my voice, because I'm telling you that I'm sitting in with myself. I'm not lonely, but I done got away to myself. I'm letting the natural moonlight shine in. I got my scented candles lit, honey. And I do this a lot. I don't run from myself. But I'll be back up here later and I'll be on the screen where I got the laptop and the camera and all that, that stuff, content creation stuff going on. If I had my camera on now, you couldn't see me because I'm in the dark by choice. I got the moonlight shining into my big door like a window. It's adjacent to my balcony. And I got the scented candle and I'm in the darkness and I'm talking to you. And I like doing that because I sit with myself a lot like this and I go within and I do my breathing and I talk to myself. Sometimes I talk to myself with my head, and sometimes I actually talk to myself with actually speaking spoken word. And sometimes I will find myself answering myself. That's how you do. That's when you really going within, connecting to yourself. Then you might bring in a little astrology and do some shadow work and study your astrology chart, your what is it? They say the dark moon Lilith and your Chiron and where your Saturn and your Mars is adjacent to, and what planet the planet and the zodiac that's in, that's that shadow work, that deep shadow work. So greetings, this is my son Goddess. I will come back later and get on screen and do all that camera and the content creation where I'm talking about stuff and showing other documentation and documentaries and all that. But right now, like I said, I'm sitting in the dark. See, I could turn my camera on. You still can't. You can't see me. And I got it on. See, I'm in the dark. I'm in the dark. I got a candle lit. Um, I got a natural a scented candle. Got a natural moonlight coming in through my window, which is a door that's adjacent to my balcony. And I do this a lot in meditation. Well, we are, you know, bombarded with the news of the war on Iran. I'm still finding peace within, cause honey, what I'm gonna do about it? I'm definitely not joining the military and going over there fighting. I'm definitely not trying to get drafted. So I'm gonna find the joy and peace I can within, and be grateful and find happiness and still doing my stuff, working on myself. I'm still grounded. I'm still connected to my higher self. I'm still working on healing, rebirth, death, and transformation, which I'm talking about the spiritual. Thank you for joining. This is my son Goddess 777. And like I said, I'm not on camera because I'm sitting in darkness, and I do that a lot. I sit in darkness to find the light, and I got the moonlight shining in here, and I get away to myself. I'm not lonely, but I be alone because you have to sit with yourself, and you have to feel. You have to be sober minded at times. I'm not saying like you can't drink, you can't do this and do that. Do the stuff, but don't let it do you. You don't let something overtake you where you gotta have something that you wasn't born with. When we came into this world, we came into this world without all these addictions and all these substances in our bodies and stuff like that. And we want to be able to detach from anything. You don't want to have to become so dependent on something until you feel like you can't live without it. And if you have become that dependent upon something, I can tell you as a living witness, honey, you don't got to be that way forever. You don't have to be that way. You don't have to the cravings and that this flesh wants, if it's food or if it's sex. It could be companionship, an addiction of not being able to be by yourself, or a recreational thing like a recreational substance or alcohol or whatever. It's a way to get to the point where you have control over yourself, over this avatar, where you have disciplined yourself, where you come to a point where you don't be attached and even though if you use something, don't let it use you. Like they say, it's not what you do, it's how you do it and your mindset. Even with relationships, we can get too addicted and too attached to people, and we have to learn to have discipline and boundaries and control with that. But it's all within. It's all the key is to working on yourself and healing, going within and finding, that rhythm between the dark and the light, the negative and the positive being balanced within you. So I don't I know it's a lot going on. We got the celebrities doing their thing, distractions. We got the war over there in Ukraine. We got them trying to fulfill revelations, and we know they're trying to keep the Leviathan asleep and Tiamat and the other dragons. We got to tap into us because we the energy source. Because if we start like I was telling somebody and they agreed with me because I think they used to think I just be talking and rambling and what she's saying is just her. Now people seeing that the stuff I'm saying is just not me wanting to hear myself talk. I'm like, it's not good to be in a fear mongering and a survival mindset. Because that puts you in an energy of being drained and just chasing and chasing and chasing and chasing and not attracting. You want to be in a flow state, and that takes you getting to know yourself, doing your shadow work. And when I say that, that means working on you, working, looking at your, the zodiac is not a 100% guarantee of how your life is going to turn out. It's not written in stone. When you working with the zodiacs and stuff, that's a blueprint. So you're looking at your tropical chart, and then you're looking at your sidereal chart, which is a spiritual chart. So I look at both of them, and I try to look at my weak points, and I try to strengthen the weaknesses, and I try to balance out those strengths so they won't be so overly toned or aggressive, or where my presence can't be tolerated. I try to balance everything out, because you don't want to do too, like, even though you might be strong in something, you don't want to overuse it. You want to have balance with everything, So I'm working on me. I'm still, it's levels to this healing. I know I'm grateful that I have passed some tests, and I know I got a long ways to go, but I'm just glad I'm not where I used to be. I'm glad that I'm at a point where I can take criticism that's, I know, is beneficial to my growth, but not belittle. It's a difference between somebody giving you needed criticism and belittlement. I don't take that. I know I have went within to the point where I can discern if it's somebody trying to use sarcasm or belittle me versus, criticism that I do need, because it's sometimes you do need somebody to check you and tell you that your shit stink. You do. Not in no way of like, bitch, you got me, not on no pimp type shit, but you do need somebody to tell you you ain't perfect. We're not perfect. We are spiritual beings in this human avatar, and we do fall short and make mistakes. So we do need somebody to be honest with us, and that's love. But at the same time, I don't take the sarcasm or the belittlement and the picking and all that. That's some bullshit. That passive aggressive, belittle me, throwing shots type, vibe type thing. Like, oh, it's a joke, but I'm gonna say it. But it's ha ha ha. But it's really what you wanted to say all along. That, no, we don't tolerate that. We don't tolerate that. But we have respect. We treat people like we want to be treated and everything. And we know sometimes we got to get dark in this bitch. We can't always be on that loving like. No, I ain't always on that. Mm. I'll cuss the motherfucker out right now if I need to, but I just don't get it out, let it go, brush it on off. If they deserve it, and keep it moving. It's not gonna be where I'm just holding on to something like 50 Cent for 1,000 years. But I think he do that. That's how he got on in the industry, and he knows that attention, whether it be negative or positive, he figured out the algorithm, so he knows that attention pays. 50 Cent and Charleston White, and those gestures, those court gestures, they're like the Joker and the court gestures. They say diabolical things and get people to move emotionally, but the response is what gets them paid and all that kind of stuff. So, like Cat Williams, like, they know how to play both sides. Like, 1 minute they talking about the bad guys, the next minute they balancing it out. The next minute they working with the people. So it's like the Joker type. The shadow side of the Joker, or the Joker. You never know. Like, you can't predict the Joker. You don't know what bag the Joker gonna come out of. You just a wild card. So yeah, that type of energy. They could say anything at any time, and really you thinking like, oh, they could do what they want, but they have masters, and they're being controlled too. Because we're never bigger than the program, and you can't defeat the program. And then what are they talking about? Cardi B? Oh my God, some people talking about how good she doing in her show. Other people talking about how she's horrible, can't dance, and is doing a bad. I don't really care, but I just look at it like, the big picture is, I think they want to use her as a plant to say that, well, I can make mistakes, and I could get back up. No, they pretty much saying, I can do whatever I want to do. I don't have to be held accountable, and people gonna feel sorry for me. So, and it's not gonna work like that in society. That works like that for her because it's a machine behind her. But I want to tell the young children, because there's a lot of kids that's looking up to a lot of these celebrities like that. If you do that in this society, the way these people think, it's not going to turn out for you like it turned out for her. And it's not going to turn out so good for her because in so many years, those children are going to be grown and they're going to be looking at her like, it's going to be like, well, can I be like my mom? Or should I be like another person? Like, who's my role model type thing? So, yeah, I mean, the apple don't fall too far from the tree a lot of times, and a lot of times you can say, well, that's just her job, or she's not that person in real life. She's a great mom, but a lot of times these people that's acting in these movies, they can't decipher between a character and real life because if you look at the guy that played as a Joker, the first Joker, he couldn't disseminate between him being in character or real life. It merges. When you're acting these scenes and stuff, you got to get so into them, even as a performer and stuff, and you're putting up a persona. You got to get so into that character sometimes until that's really you. If it's not you, it becomes you. You embody that energy. You embody that entity, and that becomes you. So it's a thin line between. They say it's a thin line between catching a criminal and becoming the one. It's also a thin line between being an actor and performing as a character and actually merging that with your reality. You know. So I just say that I'm looking at the big picture of what is the youth is what they're after, the children, and they say that's the future because they make it seem like, oh, it don't matter about the adults, fuck the adults. But I be like, we need to think about that because the adults are the ones raising these children. So if we say fuck the adults and we just thinking about the children, who are these kids around? Don't we want them to be around healthy minded, stable, balanced adults that's in good environments? And then when I say good environments, I'm not even talking about money, which that matters. You have to have financial stability to raise a child properly, but also I'm talking about these big pretty houses that got all these picket fences and the things that's really going on the inside. Don't we want the children? We say the children are our future and we forget about the grown-ups. But don't we want healthy grown-ups that's gonna raise healthy children? I mean, we can't just forget about the adults that's raising the children or around the children, because that's the problem we have in now. These baby boomers done fucked up a lot of people. Look at it. Look at what we dealing with now. We dealing with a bunch of men that hate women and a bunch of women that act like men, but they have yannis and vajayjays, but they're acting like men because of how they were raised. They was raised around women and men, and some of the communities the men wasn't really there, but they were raised with women that went through a lot of traumatic things from being raised in those eras of oppression and discrimination and the Jim Crow and all that type of, and the land being taken from their parents, and they had to go through all this diabolical stuff because of a skin color type thing. Like, imagine you raising your child after your parents. One of your parents, they don't. Your mother is like most of my grandmothers and her cousins and her uh nieces and stuff, all of their mothers died young. That don't add up. I haven't been. Hey, I haven't been up here that long. I just got up here not too long ago. So yeah, I'm talking about. Imagine that my grandmother was born in 1917. Her mother passed away at like third. I went back and researched this. My grandmother's mother passed away when she was 30. Like real barely. You don't even become fully grown till you like about 30 something, 33. Your brain doesn't fully develop. So my grandmother didn't grow up with her mother, but her mother got married when she was 16. And from my research, that happened with a lot of the ladies, the younger little girls back then. They were marrying these older men, and I'm not trying to drag my grandfather, my great, what is it? Not grandfather, but I'm not trying to drag because that's what they all were doing. I'm not trying to drag it. It was okay to marry for an older man to marry a 16-year-old child. And it's okay in some places now. And the last time that they did that here was a 5-year-old married some old dirty man right in Kentucky. And if you don't believe me, you can look it up. But child marriage is nothing new. And people having relations with underage children, now everybody's like, "Oh my God, it's man, these these children been catching it for a long. These children have been uh pawns and sacrifices and being used as toys for a long, not just in other countries, but right here and all over. This is global, people. This stuff is it's not nothing that's just happening in certain areas. They all do this. They all work together. They all do this. So, like I said, my grandmother was born in 1917. Her mother was married at 16. She had like a lot of kids. They all did. She had a lot of children. She passed away early. Not only did my grandmother mother die, so did all her nieces and her cousins and all them. They told me, I was at a reunion not long ago, and they was telling me the same story. And I'm like, oh, wait a minute. So this ain't adding up. Why all these women, why all these young indigenous women, they all died of stuff that like childbirth and all this kind of stuff. But it just don't add up. And I'm finding out that it just is strange how the women, when they first came to colonize all these areas, the women owned the land. It was matriarchal. Even though Chad lied, and they got Chad indoctrinated to a certain point. Chad will even tell you that when they came to these lands, these women owned it and they passed it down to their daughters. So the girls were threats. And a lot of times in the area where I'm from, they took the children and the women out first. When they came, they took the women and the children out, or either they raped them and they made them have mulattoes and stuff so they could infiltrate the bloodlines. They either took them out because the women were chiefesses, and the daughters would carry the land, and it would be passed down to the daughters, to the heiresses. The women would appoint the chiefs, but the land didn't go to the men. It went to the daughters and stuff. So after they took over and they and placed the patriarchy in place, that's when the women started having to have the husband's last name. That wasn't how it was. It started later on, and that was only husband being a landowner. So when they married these men, the husband would, even though the woman owned the land, or the young girl owned the land would go to the husband. So that's like crazy. That's like crazy. Yeah. So I'm just saying that I'm saying that to say that child marriage is something that need to be studied, and even now, they're like, oh, when somebody says something about the womb of a 16 to a 19-year-old is healthy, they looking at him like he's a pedophile. But I'm like, most of these guys think like that. A lot of them, not all of them. I'm not even gonna put that on no men, because you got some sorry women around here that think like that too about young boys. So I'm not gonna just be like, oh, it's the men. I'm not on a witch hunt because I like men. And I see that a lot of these men is like they is because of who they were raised by, some evil woman that wasn't healed. I'm not gonna say that I'm not gonna, kill the woman because she was raised by somebody that made her who she was, but I done seen it with my own eyes. Like it's some women out here that's rough. It's some rough women out here. And it's because they have an unhealed wound, and the trauma that they've been through, they not working on themselves. So they raise hell on their whole empire. They destroy it, tear it down. Um, a man eater, all that. So it's not just the men. It's us all in healing. That's why I'm sitting here. I'm not on camera because I'm in the darkness. And I'm in the darkness because I can find the light. I got the moonlight shining through my balcony. And I do that a lot. And I get with myself. And I see people that's just they get in one relationship and they don't never sit with themselves, and they hop to the other one. And then when you hear them, they always blaming the other person. Oh, you know, this it's them. They were bad. They were bad. The women are the multiplier. So it's only right to leave it to the women. Damn right. Cause what is it? Somebody said it. They said when a woman, they said when a woman is wealthy, the kids are happy. The kids are happy that's what they was trying to prevent. Because the woman had the wealth, the children the children be happy because we didn't have the women that we got now. And when I say the women that we got now, the women that we have now come from women that have generations of great, generations of fear mongering, generations of survival mode, generations of molestations, generation of incest, generation of pedophilia. It's a generations of trauma and being taken out because they were tapping into their creative side and maybe because they was into healing medicines and stuff, and the Catholic Church or the pastor or whatever thought that they was a witch, because they was maybe able to discern and see some things, and they was the witch trials and all that, and they being jealous of that womb was is they wanted control of the womb. That's what the goal was. And they made these women into monsters now. Like, most women can't even get along with the other women there, but we wasn't like this before. Long ago, we worked together. Long ago, we was not jealous over a man either. We knew what that was about. We knew that the men was not supposed to be our little possession. Like, they got us indoctrinated now. Well, they got us indoctrinated now to think that, these men are, and they got these men thinking that we belong to them, and they got us at I'm not saying that, I'm saying that how they look at us as goyim, as cattle. They got us at the bottom. We feel like we can do what we want to do. We free, like, oh, I don't have to be disciplined. I could just go sleep with who I want to sleep with. I can go out at night and I could just have me a good time, and I don't have to worry about no consequences. I can go get high and I'm in the city. I'm around the celebrities. I could just go. Okay, it's consequences to everything. That they know this, but they make you think that, okay, your undisciplinedness and you thinking that you free and can do what you want to do, it creates so much opportunity for them at the top, because it creates so much chaos and mayhem by you feeling like you don't have to be. They don't want you to know this. That's why they indoctrinate us through Ghislaine Maxwell, daddy, writing our books, school books, to dumb us down. And we don't know how to use the Bible as a spell book. We don't know how to use the Bible as as a book to create from within the Cristo Negroes in us. We don't know how to go in there and take that spoken word and use it like we need to use it. We all in the Bible talking about, Lord, that's me. Oh, God was black. Oh, God was this and this was that, and Esau and Jacob, and I'm the chosen people. Yeah, yeah. We don't know how to use that book like it's supposed to be used, like they use it. As they use them books, you can use it. You can use any spoken word and intention. But that's what they know. They know that we don't understand the ways of the world because they purposely dumb us down so that we won't wake up to who we are and to our power. Positive generation. Well, yeah, it'd be nice if we could have that now. We gotta get to that point. But first, before we can get to all this compassion and joy and what we used to have is bliss and used to have paradise. This place was paradise. This is the oldest. This is where do you know they burnt down the mounds and stuff like that? They even had Indians that were fake Indians. Cherokee is not the original name. Those people are the fake ones. The Tassalogy is what you really supposed to be saying. Those Cherokee and Iroquois, those are the names that they gave us. Those are not how you say our original tribe names, and not even that. To go even farther back, we are the indigenous Moors of the land. Cause I got a book about the Louisiana Exchange and how that black lady got her land back and all that. We are the what is it? What's the name of that tribe? Wichita, Wichita. We are the Wichita's. How she got her land back. And how that even Abraham Lincoln said those are the ancient old ones and they were the mound builders. How those fake Indians, $5 Indians burned down the mounds, took out a lot of the women and the girls and the men too, and enslaved them. They made our people become like prisoner of wars, and they had to fight their way in and contract their way out of these contracts and stuff and turn on their own people because to have their land. So when you see when you see people with land, you got to be like, Lord, what did they do to keep their land? Because there was a lot of diabolical stuff going on from within. So yeah, we got to get back to that, but we don't have we don't we got to work on healing. A lot of our women and men, they don't want to work on themselves. Like right now, instead of sitting alone, like I'm sitting to myself. I'm not lonely, but I'm to myself. I'm in darkness. I got the moonlight shining in. I do that a lot. Don't nobody want to work on themselves. Don't nobody want to really do the work. They want to get up here and do and talk the talk. They want to go and write these books and these ebooks and all these seminars. But when the rubber hit the road and Saturn start fucking with them and testing their ass, because you're gonna have to practice what you preach. When the rubber start hitting the road and these tests start coming, and the stuff you've been telling these other people you gotta do it, they can't do it. Yeah, they can't do it. They can't do it. They definitely can't do it. So yeah. So the women should have it. The women should have the land, and that's how it was in the beginning. But I'm trying to figure out what happened. What happened where the women were taking over like that? Like why did that happen? Why did that happen for them to be able to come in and do that to us like that? What had like what? Cause they say it ain't no victim, so why? I wonder what happened. Was something all right? Somebody won't moving right for that to be able to happen in the first place, in my opinion. Like, was it out of balance? Was the women abuse? Some of the women maybe abusing their powers or whatever. I don't know. Cause I know now it's not just the men. It's a lot of women holding up the patriarchy too. It's a lot of women holding it up from the bottom. And I think they know what they doing. So we just gotta wonder, like, I take accountability for myself and try to work on myself. I'm not trying to merge with people that's like I don't even want to attract them people no more. Like people that's just I can read. I done been through so much. It don't take me long to pick up on it. Like I'm not dealing with that. I don't have to. I'm not trying to fix nobody and save nobody. If you don't wanna, if you ain't vibing, you ain't gotta deal. It's so many. It's billions of people. We ain't gotta. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not going through it with you. I don't need to be striving and fighting and fussing and trying to persuade you. Hey, either you is or you ain't. You gonna meal do a barbecue. But this is a beautiful night. I'm enjoying the moonlight and I got my scented candles lit and I'm just sitting with myself and I'm gonna come up here later on camera. I'm gonna come up here and do a stream and all that the proper content way. But like I said, I just wanted to do a random rant. I'm not really even talking about a whole lot. I don't have any drama. Let's see. Let's see the little gossip. Lexus 2477. Cardi B, 50 Cent and T.I. Boy, what in the world? T.I. They all coming at 50 Cent, huh? That they all coming at him. He got some talented people in that family. But I don't know what might come of this. I don't know. I I don't I would be scared. See, that cancer man is real petty. You got to be careful with a cancer man because some of them like 50 Cent, they might be about making money and production and attention and all that, but he real petty. He is real petty. Cancers, baby, the men and stuff, even the way they be calculated with they stuff. I don't know. I don't know. It's gonna be hard to outthink him and the way he think, cause I know I got some of them placements, and I know how they move. So you got to be careful with some dealing with some people like that. And them cancer men, they ain't no joke. They ain't no joke. So I don't know if this is all staged. Cause we on the Truman Show. It's all a stage anyway. What they say that ain't even Jim Carrey. I think he would play. I think that whoever that is supposed to be Jim Carrey was playing as George Bush. Not you're not George Bush, but Biden. Cause they said Biden been gone since 2016. So ain't no telling about these clones and these NBC. Honey, this shit, I do not take none of this shit serious. Even all that stuff that these wars and rumors of wars and all them playing out of Revelation. I'm like, it is what it is. Everybody like, well, you might need it. Look, I used to be in I ain't gonna lie, I used to be in fear mode, fear mongering, worried about leaving the damn United States and all that and buy back. You can't run, you can't fucking hide. You better go within and start working on yourself. That's the way out, is within. That is the way out, is going within. Working on yourself, healing, being light as a fucking feather. Working on healing, being light. All that run, you cannot run it. You can't hide. You could go to look. You can leave here. It might take a little while to get. Might take them a little while or whatever. But hey, it's global. It is global. You might go to somewhere and move away and mm, look at what's going on there. What they did over there in Mexico, which I don't believe it's as bad as they claiming it is, because it's some real loving people over in Mexico. And I'm not far from. I'm not. I'm no. I'm nowhere from. Nowhere from it, Mexico. But it's some really. I ain't talking about the one that's over here on this soil eating these GMO Mexican people that's over here. There's some good ones here, but honey, they them purebred people over there in Mexico, them traditional people over there, them are some good loving people. I'm telling you, they some good people. I done met some good people from over there. And I'm gonna tell you, when I moved to the Triangle, I didn't know that there was a such thing as Black Mexicans. That was a long time ago. But I didn't know. Like, I knew there was Afro Latinos and stuff like that, but I had never met like actually Black Mexicans that were actually darker than me, and they call each other niggas. I was like, what? Cause I was hanging out with them. I'm like, well, these my people right here. Like, I like these folks. They be like, nigga, this and that. They look like black people. I'm like, y'all from where? They be like, I'm a Puerto Rican. I'm like, you ain't no fucking Puerto Rican. But they were actually Mexicans, black men. I'm like, okay. So I met some good people from El Salvador. I done met some good people from Mexico, and Venezuela. Venezuelan people. It's some really nice Venezuelan people too. Don't get it twisted. It's some cool Haitians. I done met some cool Haitians. Listen, I socialize with the sport, with the diversity of people. I done met cool people in Japan, Japanese. I done met some cool Indian people. I done had my Indian friend. She used to invite me to her house and she teach me how to cook Indian food. We'll go shopping and she done taught me how to buy that 18 karat gold and about that Indian fabric and all that. So I have really I'm not no person that don't, I'm a very diverse person. Let me think. I'm trying to think, is there a culture that I have not had been cool with and met some good people in? Cuz I don't think, like, of all the countries in the world, I met some good people. So it's good and bad and ugly in every color, culture, and country. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm never gonna be like, oh, I'll never go to Mexico, because I'm not far from it. I bees in the spot. So I'm not gonna never say I'm not going back to no Mexico and this and that. Cause Mexico, honey, they got it going. It's some good loving people there. They got the herbs and all that. They got it going on in Mexico and other places too. And even looking at Cuba, they trying to make all our compadres and stuff mad with us. Like, look what they trying to do with Cuba. Cuba? Cuba is the one that housed and hid and protected Asada Shakur, Tupac godmother. And Cuba was the first country to actually get ahead of the AIDS pandemic when it first came back in the 70s and stuff. Cuba got the scientists and the doctors that was giving the people in the community the medication for free. And Cuba took the sick people out of the community and put them in convents and kept them from infecting the other people, but they didn't just throw them away. They kept them and gave them medications and fed them and stuff and kept the communities protected. They protected the sick, the infected people from the community, and then protected the community from the infected people with AIDS and stuff. So, man, Cuba, come on, man. Man, and a lot of these countries that of those people that they invited here, a lot of those migrants and immigrants that were invited here, those